Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm Hiral Dadia. One stock that is in focus in today's day of trade is is GRSE. And overall, to discuss the performance of garden reed shipbuilders and engineers, joining us on the show is Commodore P R Hari, retired chairman and MD at the company. Welcome to the show, Mr. Hari.
Thank you, Hiral. Thank you.
Mr. Hari, my first question coming to you is overall, if you see in terms of where the record revenues go, we've seen a number of 1961 crores for April to December, right? So, congratulations, firstly, on that achievement. Secondly, are we expecting that kind of growth to continue?
Thank you, ma'am. We have managed to maintain the tempo that we set during the first two quarters of the current financial year. And as earlier, I also had, last time when we interacted, I had mentioned that this year is a year of growth for us. So maintaining that tempo, the results for the quarter ending and 9 months ending 31st December 22 have been very, very encouraging. As a matter of fact, both the revenue from operations and the profit after tax, we have touched new highs during even for a single quarter and for a 9 month period in the history of the company. To answer your question, yes, we intend maintaining the tempo because the projects that we are executing currently are in that stage of production maturity that the revenue will be accrued in the coming few months and years.
Hmm. So overall, in this quarter as well, the reason why we've seen this kind of a revenue growth is mainly on the back of the P-17A advanced frigates, right? So the major thing over here is that it has reached its peak revenue generation. So what's the outlook on that front?
See, I'll just give you a glimpse of the order book that we are executing currently. We have an order book as on 31st December 22 of 22,242 crores. And this comprises of course, the P-17 Alpha and another two projects for the Indian Navy. That is the survey vessel launch, a four-ship project, three P-17 Alpha, as I had mentioned, and eight anti-submarine shallow water crafts. So 15 ships that we are constructing for the Indian Navy. We also have a project going on which is in the final phases for the government of Guyana, and a small project for the government of West Bengal, and also one project for the government of Bangladesh. So all put together, 22,242 crores. So coming to the biggest revenue earner, of course, is the P-17 Alpha project, because there the overall project cost is around 19,000 plus crores. Yes, the project is reaching its peak revenue generation years, but the advantage is that the ships are at various stages of construction. The first ship is almost touching 50%. It's crossed 50% physical progress. And in a conventional warship building cycle, the maximum revenue generation is between the period of 40 to 65% of physical construction. So we are at the right place. And the other two ships of the project are closing in fast. So the current year, of course, the next year and the next year, we expect an upward trend in the revenue generation.
Right. So from the order book that we have currently, how much are we recognizing in the fourth quarter of FY23? Because to my understanding, I think we have two ships, which is the cargo cum ferry vessel for the government of Guyana, as you mentioned, as well as the fast petrol vessel for the Indian Coast Guard that will be delivered in the fourth quarter. So what's the revenue recognition that we're seeing?
Okay, just to inform you and the viewers that we have delivered the fast petrol vessel for the Indian Coast Guard on 31st December last year, ahead of schedule. And the passenger vessel that we are constructing for the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, the ship has already undergone the technical acceptance, and right now it is under voyage to Guyana. But the point is, these are two small projects. The revenue recognition from these two, one we already accrued, and the Guyana vessel, it is hardly anything worth mentioning. But what we will be accruing maximum will be definitely from the P-17 Alpha project, which is at its peak stages of construction. The survey vessel large project, which two of the vessels across 70-75% of construction, and the anti-submarine shallow water craft project, which is fast catching up with the other two.
Right. So would it be right to say that the fourth quarter will be much, much better than what we've seen already in the third quarter?
Let us see what happens. See, last year, that is for FY22, our revenue from operations was 1757 crores. This year, we already touched 1960 crores. So we'll play it by the year, but just to suffice that we are on an upward trend year on year. And
Right.
another aspect that I would like to highlight to the viewers, you and the viewers, is that currently, as I mentioned, we have an order book of around 22,240, and we expect to sign a contract with the Indian Navy for four more ships in a month or so. So we are targeting finishing the year with an order book of plus 25K crores.
Right. Okay, so that's a good number to take off as well from this one. Apart from that, from a margin front, now it was the operational expenses which actually put pressure in this quarter as well from a margin perspective, right? Going ahead, if you talk about the other expenses in the fourth quarter, do you think that is something which could further pressurize margins, taking into consideration the warranty related provisions that we will have to make on the delivered ships?
See, in a warship building scenario, we have got one project, that is a P7 Alpha project on nomination a few years back, and all the other projects that we are executing now have been won on competitive bidding against our counterparts within India and two of the export projects against global players. They have all been won at very competitive prices. In shipbuilding, a profit margin, that's a PAT margin above 7.5 is considered healthy. While our top line is on a definite vertical rise, we have to maintain the profit margins too. So what I can assure is that we intend maintaining. As of the quarter ended 31st December, my profit margin, there is a PAT margin is around 8.56%. We would be endeavoring to maintain similar margins in the coming months and years too.
Right. Overall, apart from that, the efforts at import indigenization is something that the company has been making as well. Now, taking into consideration the recent MOU that we've signed with Rolls-Royce Solutions for the production and localization of the technology advanced MTU S4000 government marine engines, what is the plan on that front? Do you think this opportunity will still take some time to fructify?
This was a major breakthrough that both the Rolls-Royce and GRSE have made in the recent past. We have a very long relationship with MTU Rolls-Royce, and we had a license agreement with MTU for assembly of engines at our diesel engine plant at Ranchi. Now we have taken it to another level. We have taken a step forward towards localization and indigenization. Now we have signed the MOU. Now the effort is to translate this MOU into a license agreement. We are targeting in a very, very stiff timelines because the opportunities that exist through this collaboration are phenomenal. Because both the Navy and the Coast Guard have got huge requirements for warships that warrant fitment of these engines or similar type of engines. So our endeavor, our joint endeavor will be to translate this MOU into a workable license agreement ASAP.
Right. So, what is the overall opportunity size? Because to what I recollect, 76,000 odd crores is what we're looking at in terms of the opportunity size. But in terms of timelines of order placement, what's the company anticipating? By when do we see that happening?
Okay, I'll give you an overview of what is happening and what is going to happen. Right now, in the Indian Navy, 43 ships are being constructed for the Indian Navy, and 41 of them are being constructed by Indian shipyards. Similarly, 9 platforms are being constructed for the Indian Coast Guard, and all of them are being constructed by Indian shipyards. So this itself is a positive picture of the current situation. Now coming to the future, both the Navy and the Coast Guard are on a huge expansion drive. If you just take the Coast Guard has got requirement where some of the platforms the RFP is already out, some of them are RFI stage. So in my appreciation, the Coast Guard will have the contracts will be signed for around 46 to 50 Coast Guard ships between the shipyards in the coming 3 years. That is those for which RFP is already out and for which RFP is expected. These range from hovercrafts to FPVs to OPVs to NGFPVs and so on. This covers the Coast Guard. Now coming to the Indian Navy. Indian Navy has got firm requirement of around 46 platforms plus 120 FICs. The Navy RFPs are expected to come out soon. So in a period, since you asked specifically about the time frame with respect to execution, I'll first cover the cost. The most conservative cost is what you mentioned, around 76,000 crores, 76,000 crores. And if you're taking an optimistic figure where all the RFPs go through and they get translated into contract in a time-bound manner. In the next 3 to 5 years, what is in the kitty is around 1.420 crores, lakh crores. So it's a huge amount. Now,
Right.
both Navy and Coast Guard put together, that means around 100 platforms,
Hmm.
translating into around 1.2 lakh crores in a very optimistic scenario. 3 to 5 years. That's what I appreciate.
Right. I mean, that's a good number again for us to work around with it as well. So overall, from a company perspective, very lastly, what's the milestone that we are looking to cross? Maybe not a short-term milestone, but from a longer-term perspective.
Today, GRSE is a Miniratna Schedule 1, that is Schedule B, Category 1, Schedule B company. Or I would say a midterm goal is to translate ourselves through performance into a Schedule A company, and as a vision, in 10 years, transform into a Miniratna, a Maharatna company. Navaratna,
Absolutely.
this is Navaratna company.
Absolutely. So I think congratulations and good luck for the vision and mission that we have as well as a company and for the work we are doing. Thank you so much for speaking to us at BQ Prime. Thank you. Stay safe and speak to you soon again. And congratulations once again.
Thank you, Hiral.